Hello, this is Bug News, and today we're going to talk about Walter and Sabrina from Ready to Love and their relationship situation. Apparently, Walter did his interview on Crystal XO YouTube channel, then Sabrina did her interview on Crystal's XO YouTube channel. And, of course, Sabrina revved up the dry snitching chain and kind of talked about a few things with Walter, as we know. She talked about some other things too, but I guess we just want to give an overview of the salaciousness of the interview. That's all we care about: clicks and views and things, and sometimes on this channel. So we know Sabrina, she used to be a stripper, but during that time as a stripper, she said, she was no hoe. She, obtained her license to sell insurance, and also she had a real estate license, and she had a job as an accountant, but she might have been, just in the accounting department, because I don't think she has a degree in accounting, but I could be wrong. She never said she had a degree in accounting. So she said, stripper money was, extra money to help build herself up. And then during the stripping, she appeared on HBO because she was in competitions. And I do remember a while back, HBO did have a series on stripping competitions. And then she also said we got into her sewing because she was making costumes for the strippers, and that taught her how to sew and make costumes. During the interview, she also pointed out that Mune, if I'm saying that correctly, she said she almost had to get Cardi B on Mune, meaning by Cardi B, the strippers, they can fight, or they might have to fight. But she said, Mune would side-eye her even after she was talking to Mune about the situation with her and Walter, and because Mune made a comment that she felt other people were influencing her, but then she said Mune would call her, and she had to get gangster on Mune because she was talking from her chest too much, So, but they would have a discussion of what how each of them felt and things like that. But that was just a little sidebar information. The meat of this is as she got to know Walter, she started to hear things. So some of the things that she heard that Walter allegedly threw sex parties or hosted sex poetry, which not sex parties, but which we kind of knew about the poetry and him hosting poetry events. I know he's been doing that for years. I don't know if he's still hosting them. I think it was, and he did that in Baltimore, from my understanding. And when we say poetry events, I guess I'm more on that scale of Love Jones, if you ever saw that movie. And then also, she heard that Walter likes to date younger women, and when we say younger, we mean 30 to like 25, or 30 to 21. Walter's in his 40s, and Sabrina's in her 40s. This is allegedly heard. But the kicker is, here's when the bus really got dry snitching really got wrapped up. Let's say, okay, so you remember when Shiloh came at Phil's character with the alley gate and slamming the car? Well, guess who Shiloh called first? Wasn't Sabrina. It was Walter. So how did Sabrina know that Shiloh called Walter first? Well, when Shiloh gave up information to the other members on the cast, Sabrina called Shiloh, said, "We're not friends, I'm just calling you, say if you need some support, I'm here to talk to you." She said, she's not claiming who's right or wrong, but she said, "If you need support, I'm here to talk to you." So they're talking, and then she said, somehow Shiloh tells Sabrina that she talks to Walter all the time. Now, if you remember, Sabrina said Walter don't call her enough. and he's not emotional enough. Not emotional, it's the poor Patricia words, but he didn't communicate, or he wasn't sensitive. Where Shallow said, "Oh no, Walter's." we don't know if Shallow is no. I take that back. So Shallow said, "Walter, he does this. I talk to him all the time, and he was the first person I called about the field situation." If we back up a little bit, which we're not aware of, Sabrina took Walter out to lunch like 3 days before they're supposed to meet on the bridge. And well, let's not say 3 days before they're supposed to meet on the bridge, but she took Walter out to lunch. And Shiloh told, no, not Shiloh, 3 days supposed to meet, so they took out to lunch. And she asked Walter, had he heard about the field thing? He said no. Now, prior to this, she hadn't known. I think prior to this, she hadn't known. I'm not sure when she found out the information from Shallow, but he said no. And then he hadn't heard none of it. So these are like some of the red flags that Sabrina had as to why she told Walter no. But she didn't tell Walter this on the show. She told this on the interview. As far as because she said it's the first thing she had. It's about her talking to Shallow. Shallow told her Walter was the first person that she called with the field situation, and that she talks to Walter all the time. When Walter never really talked to Sabrina all the time, or she couldn't get a text back when she wanted to talk to him. And I think during that time, when Shallow told him she wanted to text him, Walter never really got back to her. And then Walter was saying that, well, she told him, Shallow told Walter not to tell anybody. So that was his reason for not telling Sabrina. So of course Sabrina put this down in her little book, and this is one of the major factors in why she said she didn't choose. She self-eliminated at the end, of course, on the bridge, but I had said Walter wasn't ready to love. Now, this is reality TV, so we have to be a little careful sometimes, as you know. But this, and to verify this was on the Crystal X Show interview, and we'll have the link in the description. I didn't time mark where she said this at, but it was practically towards the end. But what do you think? Did Sabrina dry snitch on Walter? In a lot of instances, the parties, his relationship with Shiloh, and then also she also kind of dry snitched on Tyrone too, by saying Tyrone had focused on Shiloh and he basically self-eliminated himself. He didn't self-eliminate himself, but Shiloh didn't want him, and she tried to talk to him about it, but it's neither here nor there. But what do you think? Did she dry snitch on Walter? And this is Bug News. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.